ideally you're going to be able to just talk to ProLine and just tell ProLine what you want, and it will make it happen. So if you're coming out of a holiday weekend with 8 extra appointments that you otherwise would not have had, just simply because you had that AI agent there ready to answer calls. Welcome to Roofer2Roofer. So this is the time to ask Scott and I any questions you have about the roofing business, about how to run or grow or operate a roofing business. You got Scott, who's the founder CEO of Rainstoppers Roofing and STR Consulting, and then myself, who's the owner of ProLine. ProLine CRM. So you got both sides, you got all sides of the equation covered between the two of us. So let us know if you guys have any questions. We have our own questions queued up that we're going to go through in the meantime. But we always would like to answer y'all's if you haven't. Good afternoon, Ahmed. All right, so we'll go ahead and just jump right in. I got a question here. Scott, what is, in your opinion, the right way to handle an in-person roof inspection? What's the sort of step-by-step process you would follow for a roof inspection?
Yeah. So there's a few things that I'll highlight. So like the first thing is we like to show up early, show up 10, 15 minutes early and do kind of a canvas around the appointment. We're not really like trying to sell necessarily, but throw in, 6 or 8 door hangers on the neighbors' houses. If they happen to be out, just, a greeting. Hey, how's it going? I'm getting ready to inspect your neighbor's roof. If you need any help, here's my card. Just kind of being available, but not really being salesy. The other thing is in that same early phase of the inspection is strategically parking your truck. So, don't pull up in the driveway around the side of the house where nobody at the road and nobody from the front door can see your truck. So what we like to do, obviously we're in some rural areas, so a lot of time, like my driveway's 200 yards long. You have to pull in my driveway. And that's fine, but we would want to park where it can still be seen from the front door. When they come to the door, it's real clear immediately who's there. And ideally, parking where everybody driving by can see the truck. We even do that at lunch. Like I'm hard on my guys. If I see them parked around the side of the Burger King, I'll tell them, hey, pull that damn truck out by the road. You know what I mean? Like it's a billboard. Put it where people can see it. So that's how we start. Then our first step is to go in and greet the customer. Go up, knock on the door, have a chat, explain what you're getting ready to do. You're getting ready to go out, walk around, take some photos, get up on the roof, do some inspection photos or drone photos, whichever the case is for that specific job. And then inform them, they're welcome to kind of go with you, but at the same time, they're welcome to wait at the kitchen table and understand that you're coming in when you're done to do an attic inspection. You just want to peek your head up in there, kind of look for anything that looks out of place, any damage, anything that you could catch before the roof install. And then you're going to meet with them, right? So you get your attic inspection done. You go sit at the kitchen table. We actually do one little step in between there. We go back to the truck to prepare their quote because we do print them and email them out of the truck. So we'll sneak back out of the truck for a minute to say, hey, give me a minute. Let me compile my stuff here so I can sit down with you. In ProLine, it takes 2 minutes to build a quote. So we throw a quote together real quick, print it, walk in the house, go sit down with them, and then we show them our company cam inspection, the photos, the videos, everything we've evidence that they do need a roof or evidence that they have one small issue in a good roof that just needs a small repair, right? So that's where we're going to explain all that. We do a couple things during the inspection or during that conversation. We're trying to be as honest and transparent as possible, but we're also trying to be educational. So a good sales rep is an educational sales rep. If you're teaching the customer something, chances are they're going to trust you more, right? So the more you can teach them, the more they're probably going to trust you. That they know you know what you're talking about if you can teach it to them. So we'll try to be educational. And then we do one thing. There's some other things that go on in there, but one thing we do before we hand them the quote is we do a pre-close. We're not a hard sale or hard closing sales tactic team or anything like that, but we do a pre-close. So right before we show them the price and show them the last page in the quote, Mr. Homer, other than price, is there anything that would keep you from hiring rain stoppers for your roof project? And this does a couple things, right? It kind of tees it up, like, okay, we've crossed our T's, dotted our I's, uh, but it also gives them a chance. Like, I just don't understand why you would recommend this. Let's hash that out, right? So we can go ahead and try to alleviate any of those concerns or questions before we give them a price. Because once we give them a price, it's done. Like you're kind of you have hit that point in the presentation that your pitch is pretty much over. So we try to get that buffed out beforehand, and then say no, nope, we're good to go. Okay, here's the price, $10,000, or we do have financing options at X amount a month for so many months. Would you like to go ahead and apply for the financing, or would you consider just paying with a check on this? And that's kind of where we leave it. Like I said, we're not real high pressure. We leave it at that. If they say, well, I need time to think about it. Okay, sounds good. Here's my card. You got my information. Just reach out. We'll follow up in the days to come. The last thing I like to do is try to schedule an appointment from an appointment. So I don't know where I learned that. But anyway, I believe in this heavily. You schedule an appointment from an appointment. And until they tell you no, you should always be scheduling a follow-up appointment. So if they say they need some time, okay, no problem. You think you'll have quotes together by the end of the week? Yeah, everybody will be here by then. Okay, how's Friday at 2 o'clock? We can jump on a phone call. I know you're busy. I don't want to take your time. Can we at least have a phone call Friday at 2? I can go over quotes with you, give you any help that you might need, guidance. Maybe someone is a better fit for you. I'm happy to tell you if they are. And always schedule that appointment. And even if you have that call Tuesday or Friday, I'm waiting on Joe Blow to get me that quote back. He said he'd have it to me Monday. Okay. Do you think Wednesday'd give you enough time? Schedule an appointment from an appointment until they say no or they sign a contract. That was a lot. You're muted.
No, that was really good. And the thing is, it's almost a performance. It's something that, like, it sounds like you really have it choreographed out, like what you want your guys doing every time. Do you actually have it like a good format where they can go and review it when they're learning it? How do you?
Oh yeah, so we don't have. I actually want to get some of the meta glasses and videotape our one inspection. That's something I'm putting on paper to do here soon.
I like that.
Because then I think it'd be so easy to train, right? Like it's just here's a video and here's make some talking points throughout the video. We do have an SOP for that exact process that's written out pretty black and white, bullet points, what you need to say, what you need to hit, some script stuff. We do have all that. And we have different scripts for different occasions, different tactics, depending on the type of customer you're dealing with or what their responses have been. So yeah.
Do you ever have your guys role play that outside of actual appointments?
We have some. We're not as good as the ProLine team.
Gotta get on the role plays.
Roleplay is legit. Like anybody that laughs at it, and that's the problem. Sales guys are like, "Oh, this is stupid," but what they don't understand is it literally just makes it second nature. Like it's so important. We have done some of it in the off season, but yeah, I wouldn't say we're great at that.
Well, I think there's so many benefits, but one of the biggest ones is I think the mental benefit of when you're doing it with, I mean, if you have a good sales culture, when you're role playing, like when your team is role playing with each other, they're going to go super hard on each other, probably a lot harder than an actual homeowner is going to go. And so if they're consistently every day, or at least every week or multiple times a week, doing these role plays, and the role plays are shown, they're getting hit with all these objections, and they're getting hit with all of these like problems and pushback, and they're having to overcome that in the role play. Then that sets a certain bar where they're like, okay, I can handle it at this bar. And then you have all the homeowners that are not as bad. And so the confidence level when you're talking to an actual homeowner is super high. It's like, oh, well, they're not as bad as Joe was to me during role play this morning. It's like everything is easier after you have a hard play session. So
Yeah, no, I agree.
yeah.
And we as contractors too, all and salespeople know what the worst conversations are, and we can have those. And there's always that guy that makes selling a nightmare. Well, you can do that in role play, and now that even becomes easier.
Yep. So you train for the worst. Train for the worst. Um, with is well, all right. If you guys got questions, please do drop those into the chat or the Q&A. Oh, we have a question here in Q&A from Jack. Jack says, I've missed the most recent Roofer to Roofers. But what are y'all doing with AI in your roofing biz and your CRM? Well, that's a good question. Yeah, we haven't really discussed AI the last few roofers, but this is very timely because we actually have a very big announcement that just came out today. But I'll let you start, Scott. Just talk about what you're doing with AI in your roofing business, and then I can address kind of some of the stuff going on with ProLine.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, um, man, AI is like it's a whirlwind, and I don't think anybody's really ready for it. But unfortunately, it's here, and I say unfortunately because I'm kind of old school, but and I know a lot of people love it, and I love it, right? Like as a business owner, I love it because it's an inexpensive way to solve a lot of problems. So right now we're using AI as our after hours call center, and our inbound lead form respondent. So any kind of inbound leads that we receive, whether it's Meta, Google LSA, web form, whatever, any kind of inbound lead form that we gather digitally, like off the internet or whatever, that form goes to an AI agent that sits there and conversates with that customer with the instruction to book an appointment. So the whole conversation is geared towards getting an appointment scheduled. The same thing happens with our inbound lead call center after hours. Now we do have live humans answering the phone Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and I don't see that going away anytime soon. I think that's the best case scenario. Um, there's just a personal level that needs to be had on the first touch and also on callback issues. People, you screw something up, they're already a little bit annoyed, and then when they got to talk to a robot, even though the robot's pretty damn legit, a lot of people can still tell. And I think in those instances, they really just want to talk to a person. They want to talk to a person that is going to assure them that it's going to be taken care of. So, um, Monday through Friday, we still answer the phones 8 to 5. But after that, if you call in, we book appointments with an AI agent. And I'm here to tell you, over the weekend, I don't know what happened. I thought it was a holiday, but we booked like 8 appointments over the holiday weekend, which I didn't figure we'd book any hardly. But yeah,
All through the
yesterday,
agent, all through AI agents.
yeah, all through an AI agent. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. There's some other stuff. We obviously use AI for helping with design stuff and messaging stuff. Having ChatGPT create messages or Facebook posts. I mean, we use it for Facebook posts often. Different things like that. Even job listings. So I created a job listing. I had ChatGPT create the whole thing, and it looked 10 times better than anything I would have made. So, yeah, there's tons of great uses.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love it. Um, that's amazing with over the weekend, because especially if you had assumed that, you probably wouldn't have an actual person working those hours, right? Because they're gonna
Oh, we never will. No,
yeah,
no,
on the
we don't. We
weekend.
don't. No, it's too expensive typically for what we see. Right,
Yeah.
it's too much to pay that kind of overtime.
Yep.
Uh,
Especially on a
and
holiday weekend.
right, exactly. So it's just not typically worth it. And then here we got 8 appointments, and we didn't really pay hardly anything.
You're coming out of a holiday weekend with 8 extra appointments that you otherwise would not have had, just simply because you had that AI agent there ready to answer calls.
Right.
I just like that's just amazing. It's just amazing. And I think, yeah, obviously people always want to talk to a person, and you should have like don't don't let go of your receptionist. Like, have a receptionist. But when it doesn't make sense to have the receptionist working, or if the receptionist is on the other line, you can always have those calls route to the AI agent as well. Like, a person can only talk to one person at a time. So if you have like overflow, and then also outside hours, I mean, it's just like it's just it's all that extra money on the table from all those extra appointments. So I love that approach. So we actually, I think the main announcement goes out tomorrow, but we did drop a podcast episode between John and I this morning, talking about the new AI agents that are built directly into ProLine. So we have a complete AI agent platform that we've launched. The platform is going to have many different types of AI agents that you can deploy in your business through ProLine. The one that we've launched with is the AI receptionist, or booker's agent, that is able to both receive incoming calls and book appointments for you on those incoming calls after hours, just like you're talking about, Scott. And then also, it can place outbound calls. So as leads come in to the system, the ProLine's the AI agent is able to place an outbound call and then engage that lead within seconds of it coming in and get them booked for an appointment immediately. So that's just the first version. We're going to have probably 10, maybe even 20 different types of agents across sales follow up, production management, even potentially subcontractor management. Every aspect of running a roofing business will eventually have an AI agent to address that. That's built directly into ProLine, has all the context, all the information of what's going on inside of ProLine. It's the CRM, and is able to actually do work for you. And that's always been our thing for ProLine, is helping actually doing work on behalf of a contractor rather than just giving them a framework the way a lot of other CRMs work. We of course want to offer a good framework, but we also want to take more off the contractor's plate, and make it easier for them to grow their business. And that's what we're doing with this new AI agents launch. And AI agents, I call it a platform because it is. We've created a system in which we can launch many different types of agents for all these different roles in your business. So that I'm going to drop the podcast episode right now. So I just dropped a YouTube link in the chat if anybody wants to watch that. Um, if anybody wants to watch that announcement podcast, and then you'll see more information go out about this on social media tomorrow. We're going to be doing a big marketing push for it tomorrow. And then so just following up, make sure we address this question with Jack. So I think we answered your original question, Jack. And then Jack asks, is ProLine using AI to code replace some capacity on your coding team? Not replace, but to further accelerate. So yes, we do use AI to go even faster. Like, we have like 5 major feature launches this month, which, I mean, we've always moved very fast as a team relative to other software platforms, but AI just lets us move even faster. So yes, we absolutely use AI internally to accelerate the building of ProLine. And now we have the AI agents feature directly in ProLine for contractors to use. And then we are working towards having a a co-pilot AI inside of ProLine, where ideally you're going to be able to just talk to ProLine and just tell ProLine what you want, and it will make it happen. So if you say, "Hey, I need a new pipeline for this new type of job. I want to start doing repairs, and I want a pipeline for repairs. I need to have stages to cover the beginning, the end, make sure that we're doing billing properly, and I really want to cover this and this, and we're going to need to send a quote at this point, and you just talk through your entire process, and it just builds it for you. And so, and I mentioned that because while you're not having to code in ProLine, ProLine is a pretty complex platform. Intentionally, we make it very powerful and very customizable so that you can build it however you want and have it be very tailored to your business. And so we're adding AI to it, just in the same way with coding. You can kind of talk to AI and it will put together some code for you to work with, at least as a starting point. It's going to be the same thing inside of ProLine itself as well. So that's a sort of a longer term vision thing. It's not immediate, but it is one of the things that we're going to be launching soon. But very excited in the short term to have AI agents already launched. It's already in the system, and we're just starting the big marketing push on it. So thanks for those questions, Jack. Really appreciate those. Jonah, what's up, Jonah? Good to see you. Jonah says, following up on AI or using AI in your hiring process at all. Is that directed at, I'm assuming that's directed at you, Scott. We use it in our hiring process for ProLine as well, but I'll let you address it from the roofing side.
For me, all I'm using it for in the hiring process is helping to create the job listing and the job description. I kind of tell it uh, what I want, and then have it generate the scope of the job, or actually make the job listing to put on Facebook or whatever. So that's the only place I'm using it for that.
We use it for that as well to assist with that. However, we've also just recently started experimenting with some resume filtering. So we're looking at using AI or we put everyone's resume that's submitted. Cause I mean, when we open up a role, we get hundreds. We've gotten 400 applicants for a role before when we've opened it up here at ProLine. So, it's just insanely time consuming to go through all those applications. So we kind of tell AI what we're looking for, and it would create a short list of, here's the top 20 or 30 candidates based on these criteria. And that's what allows us to narrow it down. So, we have that as well as some other kind of filtering mechanisms to kind of pre-filter that, as well. So we're not just relying on the AI, but that's one way we're using it, at ProLine. So thanks for the question, Jonah. All right, guys. Let us know if you have any other questions. Otherwise, we'll jump back into ours. But definitely a fun little talk about AI there. Always down to talk about AI. So if anyone else has any AI related questions, happy to address those. All right. You kind of already answered this, but I think this is more specific to when you're doing a roof inspection and you're actually on the roof, or I guess in the attic as well. What are the list of things specifically that you're looking for on that roof? What's, like, for example, obviously you're going to look for hail damage. But maybe like what specifically are you looking for?
Yeah, so we have a checklist that and it's a company cam checklist, but um we have a checklist that we go through on every roof. So we take pictures of inside the gutter, uh, every slope, every flashing, every boot, every ridge or hip. So every angle we can get on that roof, we're taking pictures. But then we're taking like close up pictures of wind damage, hail damage, excessive algae growth, areas with excessive uh, granular loss. Any of those things that shout uh, replacement. That's the things we're trying to take pictures of. Again, like I said before, though, maybe we get up on the roof. I was talking to the guys that got on this morning. They said the roof was like 8 years old and it literally needed a pipe boot caulked. He did his inspection. He took plenty of photos. And then after he showed the customer, he got a tube of caulking out of the truck and climbed back up there and caulked a pipe boot and told the homeowner to call him in 10 years. So it, as much as we're looking for that damage, because we do want to find the issue areas and, show that customer, if they do need the roof, put that urgency in their mind. Like, hey, I'm trying to do you a service by letting you know you need to do this sooner than later because it's going to be a problem. And it's going to be a problem inside your house. So, AJ, you still with us?
Yeah. Did I cut off for a second?
Okay, you're froze up. Sorry.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, yeah, I went off for a second. I'm still with you.
good. You're good. Yeah. So that's kind of the whole idea is taking photos of stuff that does put urgency to the matter of needing a roof.
Yeah, that's
Something else to mention though, I will say this: something that is part of our checklist is taking pictures of every face of the house from the ground and every run of gutter because you would be amazed at how many times we have replaced gutter that we're pretty sure we didn't damage. We started doing this, or siding, or a window, or whatever. We started doing this on every job, and it is pretty comical the amount of times somebody will call us and say, "Hey, your guys finished the roof, but they screwed my gutter up." We'll go up, meet with them, take a look at it, and then we'll pull up a timestamp photo of 3 weeks prior to that roof installation of that gutter that looks exactly like it did before we got there. You know, so uh, we've spent thousands and thousands of dollars repairing stuff that there's definitely a percentage of it wasn't from us. So,
Yeah. No, that's powerful. That's powerful. Are you doing that before you even get up on the roof? So is it like kind of
oh yeah, that's the first thing.
yeah.
That is the first thing.
So you
Yeah.
can't even say it happened during the inspection. It's like, oh, this is before we even got up on the roof.
Hmm. Yep.
I like that. Got a question here from Jack. When you turned on financing as an option to your business or for your business, what impact did that have on your sales in the next quarter slash year slash couple of years?
That's a good question. And I turned financing on in my business long before I knew how to run a business. So, um, I've had financing for years, like honestly, pretty much since the beginning. So the ability for me to track that in my because of my lack of running the business at that time frame and just going to work every day, I can't give you that answer. I will tell you this: we've switched and we've kind of like not promoted it and then promoted it and found better options, and now we've got a really good program we're using. We really like, um, and we promote it well inside of ProLine. Our ProLine quotes it shows that option right inside of the quote. There's even a way you can embed your financing link right there where the customer can just apply themselves. You don't even have to promote it. It's like it's right there. They can't not see it. So um, when we did that, we definitely saw an increase of people taking advantage of it. I don't know what the sales difference is, but we definitely see many more people applying and taking advantage of the financing options.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. It's tricky. It's always tricky to track these things because there's always so many things changing usually in a business all at the same time. So unless you really kept it entirely the same, and that's the thing. It's like a good business is going to have financing early on, and so if you, it's unlikely that you would have a business where everything's squared away and then you're putting in financing and then not changing anything after you put in financing. Would be interesting to see a case study like that, but it's probably super rare.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say so. I mean, the thing with financing is it's not that difficult if you find a decent lender to work with. And there's a lot of smaller ones that are even really good to work with that are super easy, that take almost no effort, right? And if you get into something like that, at least there's an option. I mean, at least you have the ability to put it on the table. And there are plenty of customers you're going to run into that straight up cannot hire you unless you have a financing option.
so Jack says, LOL, that's me. I will let you know how it goes. Perfect. Thank you, Jack. Please do. Please do report back. I'm very curious. Um, I mean, intuitively, it's gonna make a big difference. Like it's gonna make a difference. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting. So let us know, Jack. In isolation, what's the impact? because it's also mid-season. So if you're implementing it right now, it's like it should be. I guess July is usually a little slower, but yeah, it should. You should be able to really be able to tell what impact it has. That's awesome. Um, all right. So we got a question here from Brandon. What types? Am I still there, or am I breaking up?
No, you're good.
Okay, my internet's been a little weird. Brandon says, what types of certifications do you have or use to help your company, such as Shingle certifications, HAAG certified, CRI, etc.
So shingle manufacturer certification, in my opinion, is a huge deal. I know people like to talk and say, well, this company just gives them out to whoever and whatever. Like, say what you want. But at the end of the day, it gives you a leg up. And it also creates a relationship. Actually, PAF Master Elite Contractor, we have a job, and this is, just the cold hard truth of it. We screwed up. We forgot to file this customer's golden pledge warranty. And I'm here to tell you, we do not forget that. Like it just happened, right? It was a mistake. Well, he's having some grant. Like his roof's 2 years old, and GAF is just we're going to pay to replace it. But they didn't want to pay for certain items because for labor, for instance, because it wasn't filed as a golden pledge roof. Build a relationship with the knows I file all of my warranties the best I possibly can. And he assured me, he said, Scotty, I am going to pay you for the labor on that. That's our fault. That's why we do business is because we have a relationship. So, it's more than just to sell it to a homeowner. It's building that relationship. So when that homeowner's product fails, you've got someone that's going to help you get through that because the homeowner's blaming you. They're not blaming the manufacturer. They're blaming you. Even if it's a manufacturer default, you put it on, you vouch for the company, right? So, having that relationship's huge. We've got some other weird ones that I probably don't like. We're lead abatement certified, lead safe certified. There's a lot of old homes in the state of Ohio that um, require these lead certifications for lead paint, different things. I don't know why when you're roofing you need to worry about lead paint that much, but they require it. So we've got a bunch of different ones like that. And then like directory, we're directory certified. I think that's a good one. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the ones. We don't have a ton. I don't want to sit here and act like we have a ton, but also in the state of Ohio, there's not that many to get. We don't even have a contractor's license in the state of Ohio. So, you know, gold play or a master league contractor supersedes the contractor license, I think.
Yep. Follow the policies. Yep, it makes sense. I mean, it's the shingle certificate. I mean, I've seen GAF ads just like on TV or social media. I don't know if anybody else does that. I don't think I've seen anything else besides GAF. But you are kind of also benefiting, like even if people don't really know these brands, like they recognize them. There's some brand recognition there. We tell them to have all this. So let's go.
That's why I've always pushed like we were an Owens Corning dealer. That's what we sold was Owens Corning. And the whole reason was because they sell them at Lowe's. Everybody knows the Pink Panther and Owens Corning. It's the easiest sell. Like customers trust that brand because they see it, right? Um, and then number two, right behind that's GAF because they sell them at Home Depot. And on the East Coast, Lowe's is bigger. On the West Coast, Home Depot is bigger. But GAF offered to take better care of me in some different avenues with marketing and different expenses and stuff. And so I decided to go that route. But I don't really want to sell another shingle because now I have to justify to the customer why this product that they've never heard of is better than these other products that they see every day. So to me, I want the one that's been in front of the customer forever that they trust.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Cool. All right, got a couple other questions here from Jack. Jack's asked, does ProLine have anything on its roadmap that looks like Pin Parrot, Project Map It, or Real Work to take ProLine's customer project data outside of your client's websites to assist in marketing for Google My Business and organic SEO? Um, Not currently. There, I believe there is stuff on the idea board for that. But we prioritize everything off the idea board. The thing is, for those features, they're actually very trivial to build. They're very simple. We could have any of those things basically replicated in ProLine in probably about a week. But there's a list of the like 600 things like that we have that like all take about a week. And we're just prioritizing them entirely based on those on the idea. And so if it does end up rising to the top of the idea board and we're getting a lot of demand for it, then we will definitely add that. If it doesn't, we'll just keep letting those companies do that separately. The thing is, other than saving money for our customers, or just something we want to do, but besides saving money, there's not like a huge upside for us having that built into ProLine because it's fairly simple to integrate those through Zapier or even through webhooks. And we're about to launch a partner API that will make it even easier if those companies want to integrate directly with ProLine. So there's not like a huge upside for us diverting resources to build it, unless it again rises to the top of the end. There's a lot of other things that are higher, especially stuff around like subcontractor management, um, managing subcontractor management. It's subcontractor management. It's a really big one right now that we're going to be looking at soon, but also internal communication tools that we're going to start launching some stuff around that. And then we're investing a lot of resources right now into our new mobile app, which is going to work a lot better, especially in lower service areas. We're just completely rebuilding the mobile app from scratch, which we've been talking about this now for a year and it keeps getting pushed back and pushed back, but we actually have it mostly built now. So it's going to be coming soon. The other question here from Jack, does ProLine have anything on its roadmap that looks like Roofle? No. And I think that one is a little bit interesting because we actually made the strategic decision to stay really far away from doing measurement stuff. It's something that we've looked at multiple times. There's a lot of legal things that we want to avoid, but also measurements is just not something, besides again saving money, it's not something that is really that more valuable to have inside your CRM versus out. So we would rather just integrate with everybody. And when it comes to either instant estimators on your website or doing measurements for the roof, like more detailed measurements for both of those use cases, we would just rather our customers go find who they think is best and then integrate that back to ProLine. Meanwhile, we're going to focus on the things that we're best at, which is the communication. So that's why we're so focused on AI agents, for example. It's just a lot more in line with what our strongest skill set is, which is assisting contractors manage those relationships and the communication between them and the homeowners or them and property owners. So that's what we're staying focused on. And we're, at least for the time being, keeping our distance away from the measurement. We're just integrating everybody. So we have integration with Roofle. We have integration with most of the measurement providers now. And even the ones that there's only one that we don't integrate with, I believe. And that one's because they also have a CRS. So that's their fault. We would integrate with them otherwise. But we do have even ways to work with them through Zapier if you want to use them for their instant estimator. So it just comes down to strategic like decisions on what to focus on. And we've made the decision that it's more important for us to focus on the communication piece. It's how we create more value than it is on the measurement piece as other platforms have done. So hopefully that answers that question. We are coming up on the end of this episode. I think we got time for maybe one more question. If anybody wants to drop that, we'll answer that. Otherwise, I got one more here. We're almost through all of these questions on our list. I have one.
Jumped in and jumped out.
Yeah, he jumped back out. I have one here about sales commission, but that's a big topic. I don't want to dive into that right now. trying to find a quick one here. Actually have one here talking about certifications, but we already had that from Brandon, so thank you. What I'll ask this. We'll kind of end on this. Well, in the line with the inspections, when it comes to actually closing the deal, either on site with the inspection or afterwards, what's your best closing techniques? What's your best closing strategies that you use, Scott, to just get them over the finish line when we've got through all their objections, they're basically ready to buy, but you just want to push them, want to get them to that close, get them to sign. What's that approach that you and your team take?
I think there's a few different ones because again, we're not high pressure closing. Like would that we don't sell a ton on the site. I would say between 5 and 10% we sell on site. And I'd say it's closer to 5%. So it's not a ton, right? But offering the financing, because if you can get them approved while you're sitting at the kitchen table, it's a no-brainer. You guys got me approved. It's $160 a month. I can sign this now. I know I can afford $160 a month. It's no problem. Another one we bring up, which this is controversial, is the no deposits. So reminding that customer that, look, you're welcome to sign the contract. We don't take deposits like everybody else does. You don't even have to go find a checkbook. We'll put you on the calendar. We'll get your job complete here in the next 3 to 4 weeks, and then you just pay us in full. That one actually helps quite a bit, sell stuff on site. That's pretty much it. We don't do a lot to try to sell. What we focus on mostly is having great automations in our sales follow-up process to sell them 2 days, 5 days, 8 days later. That's our sweet spot. Like we can watch. It's like clockwork. If we get slammed with leads, it'll be dry on sales for like 2 to 3 weeks. And then if it dries up on leads, that 2 to 3 weeks later, sales is going like crazy because our sales cycle is about 2 to 3 weeks. That's when we see them come in. So we just do really good with our follow-up automations inside of ProLine, and it sells a ton of business for us.
Yeah. Yeah. The sales follow-up I love that combo of having really good sales follow-up and low pressure. You maintain that good reputation in your community and still make all the sales.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're gonna have to wrap up there, Jack. I see your question here asking about the deposits, which is a really good topic. We should definitely talk about that. Would love to see you next week, and we can talk about the pros and cons of not collecting a deposit. Because I think that's a really good topic. We've talked about that before, but we can definitely revisit. So, definitely jump back in next time. We can start with that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate all the questions. It's been a good episode. So we'll wrap it up there. I'll see you later, Scott.
Yeah, man.
Bye.